Parasite is overrated. Now, before I say anything, I'd like to present to you
Boon Joon-Ho.
This is the second Oscar tonight and the third nomination for Boon Joon-Ho.
When I was in school, I studied Martin Scorsese's films. Just to be nominated was a huge honor. I never thought I would win.
Before we go any further, look at this. Complete genius. Now this.
아 잠깐. 제시카 외동딸 일리노이 시카고 과선배는 김치모 그는 네 사촌.
Also genius. And now this.
세 조각, 집어쳐요. 네 조각, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. 하지 마. 안돼 새끼야.
Okay, pause. Now the essay can begin. The first Asian film I watched was Akira. As a kid, I didn't really get it. It was beautiful to look at, but it wasn't this. I wanted that. So I left Asian cinema to one side and began my conquest with anime, starting with this. Something about this show, these characters, just really resonated with me. Maybe because I grew up loving the atmosphere of this. Little did I know, I was actually drawn to a genre I didn't even know the name of, Cyberpunk. Even today, if asked, I don't consider myself a Cyberpunk fan.
Listen, you miserable good-for-nothing piece of tin-plated scrap iron. Either you reduce my sentence or I'm gonna fucking break you up.
But something about the aesthetic really draws me in. Nah, not this shit. This. However, when I became a film snob in my teens, I was directed to Kurosawa. Kurosawa changed my whole life, just as it changed George Lucas's and Steven Spielberg's. The simple yet effective storytelling of Rashomon. If you've seen the recent Ridley Scott flop, The Last Duel, then you've seen a really long and bad version of Rashomon. The composition of the shots, the powerful scene-stealing performance from Toshiro Mifune. Kurosawa and Mifune are a combination reminiscent of that of Scorsese and De Niro. Also, genius. From here, my introduction into Asian cinema was born, with my personal last foray into Asian cinema being a film I've put off all my life, Tokyo Story. Watching this film reduced me to tears. It is poignant, quiet, and beyond sad. I've never seen a film like it.
じゃあお姉さんも泣いたかないけどやっぱりそうなってくわよいやね世の中ってそう嫌なことばっかり
Now, if it feels like I've just skipped a century of cinema, it's because I have, intentionally. I want to get back to this.
For the longest time, The Host was my favorite film of yours. Until I saw Parasite, and
oh, you hate Mother.
I watched Mother again recently. It's grown on me.
Parasite. When Parasite came out and caused waves across the globe, I was one of the annoying people who was like, yeah, so what? I knew about Boon Joon-Ho before you. So very annoying. And that's kind of what this video is also saying. I knew about Boon Joon-Ho before you. Now, I'm going to kind of stand by my original clickbaity statement. I believe Parasite is overrated. Now, let me explain.
Let me explain.
Oh, not that guy. You're great though. Let me explain. The reason it's overrated is because of this. To date, this is still Boon Joon-Ho's greatest work. It was his sophomore effort, off the back of Barking Dogs Never Bite, a movie which showed promise but was a commercial failure, only attracting 57,000 people to watch it. So Memories of a Murder, a contemplative masterwork from a genius director, was shocking yet expected upon release. Now, to delve into how good this film is, I need to get kind of geeky for a bit. So excuse me. This film, to date, for me, has the perfect blend of blocking, camera work, bathos, acting, music, suspense, conclusion. I could go on. It has everything. Many liken it to David Fincher's slow-burning Zodiac. Now, I'm a David Fincher stan. Fight Club is my second favorite film ever, but Zodiac doesn't even come close to how good Memories of a Murder is. It absolutely brought my attention to the work of Boon Joon-Ho, Host, Mother, Snowpiercer, Okja. Throughout his career, quite similar to Kurosawa, he's always been drawn to geometry and class. For me, Host is about a monster that lives below land, created by negligent, governing, rich overbody. It attacks a low-class, quirky family. Mother is about a lower-class mother who will do anything to protect her son from the higher-class authorities. Snowpiercer is about a group of lower-class citizens on a moving train who have to fight their way to the front of the train against the high class who control their destiny. Okja is about... Okay, let's pause. You get the point. Parasite is the exact same thing, but by now, Joon-Ho had honed his craft. 6 films in, having been elevated to Hollywood status via Snowpiercer and Okja, having worked with A-list actors, quote unquote, he was now able to use his skills to his advantage and create a clean, palatable, multi-genre film that was at the nexus of this new obsession in movies, where class has become the theme. And in this film, he really flexes his muscles, using unreliable narrators, motifs, objects, Chekhov's gun, perfect 3-act structure, horror, comedy, melodrama to get his point across. Parasite is the Disneyland version of all his work combined. And it is, without a doubt, a masterwork. But Memories of a Murder is sublime. It is based on the 1996 play Come to See Me, which is loosely based on South Korea's first confirmed serial murders.
The suspect of a notorious serial murder case in Hwasong that had been unsolved for decades has confessed to the killings. He also confessed to 5 more murders that he wasn't being investigated for.
What really appeals to me in a film is how the material is handled. And Joon-Ho handles the material better than most have in the history of cinema, never allowing you to get close enough to the truth, always keeping you at arm's length, at the same time close enough for you to want even more. And what it does best throughout its 131-minute runtime, and what all great pieces of art do, is not give you answers.